Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you specifically about why it is so important and actually a necessity to heal the relationship to yourself in order to have healthy external relationships in your life, especially the romantic ones. So, this is like a thing that we hear all the time, right? Where it's like, to love somebody, you have to learn to love yourself. Or we hear all these like quotes from a motivational perspective talking about some of this stuff. But I actually want to explain to you, like in a rooted, grounded way, why this is really true and why it actually matters. And then I'll tell you a little bit about what you can actually do in order to create change if you find yourself stuck in this area. If you want to do a much deeper dive into all this stuff, check out our free trial. April 21st to May 5th, we wrap it. It's a 7-day free trial. You get to go into the school, check it all out. It's literally just for our YouTube and Instagram community. We are not going to be doing this again. As of right now, this is a one-time forever thing. So if you wanted to go in there, check out the courses, see what's on the menu in there, see what the courses are actually like. We've got over 45 plus courses. This is specifically for the All Access Membership Pass. I will put a link in the description box below. You can check it out and sort of see what's going on in there. The courses I recommend starting with or checking out first, some of my favorites personally are the Emotional Mastery and Belief Reprogramming course, the Discover, Embrace, and Fulfill Your Personal Needs course, the Advanced Needs course that goes along with that. I would specifically for the YouTube members not do the introductory attachment style courses. Those are great too if you want those extra resources and those tools in your toolbox. But I would go into a lot of the advanced attachment style courses where you're going to see like your attachment style and the 6 stages of a relationship, the blueprint, the roadmap, the same for your loved one, how like we change between the dating phase and the honeymoon phase, and then the stability and power struggle phase, the different things to become aware of, the rites of passage to move through them. The shadow work course is huge. The repairing trust and overcoming jealousy is a really popular one. Boundaries, codependency, and enmeshment. Those are some of my favorites. Obviously, there's 45. If you want to do like more success-oriented courses, set and achieve goals, using your subconscious mind is amazing. Attachment styles in the workplace, mindset mastery, life mapping course. So lots in there, lots to pick from. But check out, the first couple modules of some of them. And you guys can also feel free to join in some of the live webinars we're doing. I do 4 every single week, 2 back to back on Saturdays. So come join me, ask your questions, all that good stuff. So let's talk about this. So we hear all these like quotes, or we hear all these different things, and they'll be like, oh, how to, in order to love somebody, you have to learn to love yourself. This is true, but it's a lot deeper, and there's some really specific things we can do instead of, I feel like a lot of the world sometimes gives us these beautiful high level ideas, but then doesn't tell us like, here's how to reverse engineer the steps to actually doing that and figuring it out at the root level. And that's what we're going to talk about here. So first and foremost, one of the things that we need to know is that our subconscious mind, one of the main things our subconscious mind is attracted to is our own internal subconscious comfort zone in the relationship to ourselves. So I've said this in a couple videos in the past here, but obviously there's so many videos on this channel. And one of the big themes in here is like, if you, let's say, have like really critical internal dialogue in the relationship to yourself, your alarm bells are not going to go off when somebody's really critical to you. Your conscious mind is going to be like, oh, I don't like that. I don't think that's a good thing. But your subconscious mind is going to be really drawn to that person and actually maybe even find that thing attractive because it represents internal relationship to self. And the subconscious mind is very biologically deeply driven by familiarity. Familiarity equals safety equals survival. And we're very survival oriented at the end of the day. So, you not only will your alarm bells not go off, but your conscious mind does 3 to 5% in general of the picking in terms of your actions, decisions, thoughts, feelings, behaviors. Your subconscious and unconscious collectively do 95 to 97%. So what happens is if you find yourself attracted to somebody and they have these red flags, they have these things, you may be like, oh, I don't like that, but you keep going back, you keep going to that thing because that person represents relationship to self. So until we really become quite securely attached, we are much less likely to actually be attracted to securely attached people. And it doesn't mean that like you have to have a securely attached person for a relationship to work. But you do have to have somebody who's willing to do the work with you in order for a relationship to work if one or more people are insecurely attached. There really has to be work done because the patterns, all the different dynamics are going to play into things. And I would hope that nobody here on this channel is willing to settle for like, you know, a relationship where they're not happy, where they're not fulfilled, where they feel like they're not thriving, where they're not growing together, where they're either stuck in the power struggle phase with somebody for 25 years or they're just not fulfilled. And so it's really important that we do the reprogramming. Now, what does that specifically look like? Well, part of receiving love means and part of like getting, finding love where we receive it back and it's healthy love and all that kind of stuff. In order to love somebody else, you have to properly love yourself, or, to go in alignment with some of those quotes. What that means is removing the barriers, right? What that means is removing the wounds. I'm undeserving of love. I can't trust love. People will only leave anyways. People will get bored of me. I am unworthy. I am bad, or something's wrong with me. I'm defective. Like if we have all these core wounds and we believe these things in relationship to self, we are also going to feel connected to and attracted to people who seem to reinforce those core wounds, either directly or indirectly. And that's an injustice because you have those core wounds to begin with because of painful events that happened to you that you probably didn't volunteer in childhood and ask for. And so it's a double injustice that then because you got imprinted by those things that you then carry them out in the relationship to yourself. And then that you find people in your life at a subconscious level who are familiar and actually reinforce those things in your external relationships with others. That's not fair. But we don't have the tools usually to do that work to heal it, even though it's a completely changeable thing. And so it's really important that we do the reprogramming work on those big core wounds so that we are not attracted to those same sorts of dynamics. I'm sure most of you listening to this right now, I'm sure all of you either have had the firsthand experience or have seen other people in your life, and you've seen this like secondhand experience in a very loud, big way, where somebody saw something in childhood, went through something in childhood, and then they attract somebody like that in their adult life. Like, maybe they saw broken trust in childhood, and then they're attracted to people they can't trust in their adult life. Or people felt unworthy in childhood and dismissed, and they're attracted to people who make them feel unworthy and dismissed in their adult life. So you want to take inventory and figure out what is that stuff? What are my patterns in relationships that trigger me, that hurt me, that I keep going back to, but my conscious mind wants to change and I'm frustrated about? And where does that represent some story or narrative I have about myself or relationships at a subconscious level that I believe in, I've invested in over the years, and that I treat myself according to? So, for example, maybe I dismiss my own feelings and needs. Maybe I dismiss my own boundaries. That's why when somebody else does that to me, it feels familiar and attractive, right? Why do I get into relationship dynamics where I feel unimportant? I feel like I'm put last on the totem pole. Oh, do I not take myself into consideration when I'm making choices? Do I not make myself important and treat myself equally to others? So I want you guys to see that part. And those are the patterns we have to change within us in order to have a healthy, successful relationship externally. And then the last big piece in here, and by the way, if you want to do a deeper dive into this too, how to repair any relationship is a great course. It's not just like, that all relationships can be repaired. Sometimes it's like, let me set a deadline and choose to set boundaries around a relationship where somebody's not showing up with me. And that's really important. But it's learning to repair the relationship. So we end up at the end point with a healthy relationship on our terms, whatever that may be, after tuning into ourselves. And then if there are relationships in our lives that can be salvageable, healable, changeable, basically, if anybody's just willing to do the work with you, then that's the course for you, because it's going to help you change your communication patterns and your primary and secondary trigger patterns, all those different things. Anyways, okay, the last major thing here is whatever your unmet needs are, the things that you keep unmet in relationship to self, you're going to be attracted to people who usually also don't meet those needs because subconscious comfort zone. So, simple example, I share this a lot. If you were emotionally neglected in childhood, you probably grow up to neglect your own emotions, right? So we have that sort of patterning, but then we can also have things like if I didn't feel like, let's say Bob didn't feel like he was made important in childhood, so he felt insignificant, probably going to be attracted to people who also don't meet his need for significance. So this comes in like the stories and narratives we tell ourselves. It also comes in the things we don't do for ourselves that we need. Both of those things can constitute as traumas as well, by the way. One of my favorite quotes is Dr. Gabor Mate. He says, trauma are the things, or is the thing, whatever. Trauma can be the things that happened that shouldn't have happened, like verbal abuse, for example, or the things that didn't happen that should have happened, like being emotionally nurtured, being connected, you know, feeling safe in your childhood, those sorts of things. So check those out. Please take some inventory on those things, because it's not fun and not fair to keep going through the same painful relationship dynamics over and over again and feeling like we're lost or confused and not really breaking through. So that becomes your work. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.